Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I've got 5 videos for you tonight. I've got Judge McNally, Judge Boyd, Judge Wall in Washington, Magistrate Ulrich, and Judge Hayward in Georgia. I'll let you guys watch.
Yeah, let's call Zaraki. Brian Zaraki versus Mary Sanchez Catribe, 2503101.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nicholas Darren, standing in for the Attorney Record Scott Longton on behalf of Mr. Zaraki.
Good morning. I think I made a mistake on this, ma'am. I adjourn this. Your name?
Mary Sanchez Catribe.
I adjourned this, I don't think, realizing that it was a termination of tenancy case. I shouldn't have adjourned it. Actually, I'm fine with adjourning it. I wanted to speak with an attorney, but whether you apply for funding and can pay the rent is irrelevant at this point. They're suing for termination of tenancy. So did you have a chance to speak to a lawyer?
I did.
All right. I don't want to know what the lawyer told you or you told the lawyer. So tell me why, counsel, you want an eviction date of the what? The 5th?
Yeah, that's 10 days, Your Honor, without...
Tell me why you don't have to vacate by then, ma'am.
So I was with Brian for 5 years and he was the sole provider. I wasn't working. We were together as a blended family. And when he up and left, I wasn't aware that he was leaving. So I wasn't prepared for any of this. So he left and didn't speak to me for 2 months. So I wasn't aware, I wasn't prepared for any of this. So within that time frame that he's been gone, I asked for financial assistance through my DHS caseworker. I mean, I've looked for places that would help with work with my DHS, but there's a wait list for everything,
Okay.
Okay. And
hang on 1 second. Mr. Darren, what do you have to say?
Your Honor, I get I'm the bad guy in this situation. This is a relationship. It's his house. He's been displaced from his home. She's living there. He's paying all the bills. I understand she's going to say she'll pay the rent or pay the utilities and whatnot, but that's inconsequential. It's a termination of tenancy case. She's been on notice for some time now. She just told you they haven't talked for 2 months. I mean, she's been hanging out at the house.
The notice to quit was sent to you June 18th, ma'am.
Yes.
This is August 25th, so you've had about 9.5, 10 weeks, right?
Yes, and I did. When me and Brian have spoken after quite some time, I also have documents I can submit that we have spoken. I've also have offered to help pay for bills here.
Ma'am, I can't do anything. He's seeking an eviction for termination of tenancy, and there's nothing here that tells me he can't do that.
I don't have anywhere to go with my kids. Like, I don't have family. I don't have friends. He knows this. Like, I really don't have anybody.
I can't make my own rules here, man. I'm a lousy judge if I start doing that. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a judgment for plaintiff. I really am. I'm going to extend the writ date by a couple of days. Okay, Mr. Darren, make the writ date September the 8th. September the 8th. So you have until the 8th. I can give you...
Wait, August 8th or September 8th? You're going to give her an additional month, Your Honor?
What did I say?
You said September 8th.
Yeah, I know. It's only 14 days away. No. September is next month, right?
No, August is next month.
No.
No.
Wait, we're
it was okay. August. I wish it was July. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at the wrong day. My calendar got pushed back. So September 8th, Your Honor?
September 8th.
Give her through the weekend. That's fine. I can live in that world.
I thought I was going crazy there for a second. I'd love to have an extra month of summer.
At the same time. So my fault, Your Honor.
No problem. September 8th, ma'am. I'm sorry. He's going to submit a judgment. You have to vacate by the 8th. Okay. No later. All right. I'm sorry.
Even if I don't have anywhere to go with my kids?
Ma'am, I can't do anything. I don't sit up. I'm not the legislature here. I don't get to do that. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I gave you 4 extra days. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. Who's here on David Lopez?
I am, Your Honor.
Yes. So if you could come forward, and where's Mr. Lopez?
He is right here.
All right, Mr. Lopez, if you'll come forward. We're just here for a bond issue.
Yes, Your Honor.
So they're just here for a bond issue. This case is actually set on September 23rd for discovery. So anybody can file motions at any time and request that they be heard. So that's why it's on the docket. All right, so they're asking for no contact. Before we go on the record, do you have any objections to a no contact order?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll go on the record.
Thank you.
All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 001961 State versus David Lopez. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Ashley Jones for the state.
And Eric DeWalt, and I represent Mr. David Lopez.
And are you Mr. Lopez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're here because the state has filed a motion for a no contact order as a condition of bond. They're stating that the judge who entered the bond did not place any conditions on you as a condition of bond. The state is asking for no contact with the complainant. Is that the only request?
At this time, Your Honor, yes.
All right, so, and off the record defense, you said that you were opposed to that.
I am, Your Honor.
All right, are there any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument. So they,
Possibly if need be, witnesses.
That's
Sorry, from the defense.
all right,
Need be.
it may need be.
I
All right,
understand.
all right. So do you have any witnesses to call today or no?
The state does not.
Okay, then I'll call Sue Lynn King.
Okay.
Right here, sir. You're back against the county.
All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. If you'll state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Sue Lynn King, AING.
All right, you may proceed.
Ms. King, I was appointed to represent David Lopez, and you understand what he is charged with, is that correct? He's charged with aggravated. And you've seen the indictment. He's also charged as a repeater, is that correct?
Yes,
And have we talked about that repeater allegation?
yes,
Have you seen the judgment of the repeater allegation?
yes, I have.
And is the picture in the judgment of David Lopez?
No,
Is the date of birth of David Lopez?
no,
Is the height of David Lopez?
no,
Is where he served and he was ultimately found guilty in Harris County? In your knowledge, has David Lopez, your David Lopez, ever been to Houston?
he's been in Houston, but he never lived in Houston.
Has he ever been to prison?
No,
Okay, so the repeater, when he got placed on bond, this bond amount reflects an aggravated with a repeater allegation, correct?
yes,
And he's out on $100,000 bond?
yes.
How did that?
I'm sorry, just on my, excuse me. Could you clean up the?
I will do that.
Thank you.
If you-
Ah. I have a copy, no problem. Thank you. All right, you may continue.
Now, you understand the allegation against David Lopez, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Who is the alleged victim in this case?
My granddaughter.
And you took over custody of your granddaughter. Why?
They were in foster care due to
Let me stop. They, who's they?
all three girls.
Okay, so there is Phoenix, and she's the oldest.
Uh-huh.
There's Annabelle.
In 2016 and brought them to Texas from Tennessee due to their grandmother and her brother. They were taken into state custody. Phoenix came out with a lot of issues psychologically. He was in counseling from the beginning and is still in counseling.
You have dealt with CPS on multiple occasions, correct?
Yes, they were always in my home at the time the girls were brought in.
But you have complied with all of CPS's requirements, safety plans, and anything. You've always been available to speak with them, correct?
Always.
Okay, and it was CPS that allowed David to come back to the house, correct?
Yes, it was.
Now, at any time or on multiple occasions, did Phoenix recant her story?
Multiple times to me, and then she had she went back to Chauncey and recanted all of it.
Just one second. Let's pause for a moment. Because I have an idea that she's going to say that she wants him there. She doesn't want the no contact order. So does anybody have any way to have the CPS worker zoom in?
The state can speak to that. We do have CPS records. I have reviewed them in full. CPS, I guess, their concerns were illegal because cameras were put up in the homes.
Well, no, I mean, does anybody have a CPS worker to zoom in for me to listen what the CPS worker has to say?
No, I just
Is
have her
that
CPS
possible?
report.
No, Your Honor. So I do.
All right, and then with regards to the indictment, sorry to interrupt your cross, but these are questions as I'm hearing her testimony that I would like answered. With regards to the indictment, is the indictment correct?
No, Your Honor, there is an incorrect birth date on the repeat offender enhancement. So the state would be filing a motion to amend the indictment to.
And have you all had a chance to speak to the complainant?
We have, Your Honor, and this in raw record.
Yes.
Okay, the state's concern is that the complainant has been with the defendant in the home for the past year and a half. And so speaking with the child under those circumstances isn't ideal.
Okay.
And if I may, Your Honor, speaking off the record like the state, I've talked to the state. They filed this motion to amend conditions while getting ready for trial. And I believe Ms. King went and talked to them, took Phoenix in after. I've spoke to the state. I think the state told Ms. King, I doubt the judge will rule on this, but I know how severe this is. CPS let him back in. They put up multiple cameras
17 inside the home.
around the house. And David also watches the other two kids, which both have autism. And every time he's out of the house, the kids revert back. This allegation came out in 2022. The investigator said that she recanted back then, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the DA for review. And they didn't file until 2025. So I'm hearing all of these stories, and I've met Phoenix, and it is a complex case. She has multiple personalities. She talks to multiple individuals. I've had ad length conversations with her. She's the sweetest thing that has been tormented, but it is so wrong to be wrongfully accused on an allegation of this severity.
All right, so this is what I can tell parties I want. If somebody will pick up the phone, call the CPS worker. And was there a child's ad litem involved in this or no?
Not that I saw, Your Honor, throughout the CPS records.
Any attorneys? It's an attorney for the children.
They offered one,
Mhm.
and it never went through for some reason.
All right, so someone can have, because here's my thing, I will listen to your testimony and I always keep an open mind, but it appears that she's going to say she doesn't want the no contact order. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So I would like to hear from the caseworker. They're supposed to be objective. And I want to hear from them rather than just reading words on a page, because sometimes I have questions. So do you all want to see if you all can call the caseworker? I'm sure they would zoom in.
State.
And then if you want to continue with your questioning of her, I'll listen.
I believe the judge kind of cut to the chase.
Yes,
You want David at home.
yes,
Do you need David at home?
we do need David at home.
Do
I'm a full-time nurse. I work sometimes up to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. And either, his parents are also in the home, the grandma, they're also in the home, but they're 83 and 85. And they cannot physically handle the two youngest girls because sometimes whenever their mentation strikes, it gets completely out of control. David handles them, sits them down in the living room, turns on a movie in the living room, trying to keep them all pretty much stable. Phoenix comes down, she sits in the living room on the couch on the end and watches TV with them. It's a family interaction. I can see everything they do in the house.
Let me ask you this, has David ever alone with Phoenix?
never alone with
Oh,
Phoenix.
Are there cameras that there are boundaries in the house?
There are boundaries in the house. If David is downstairs by himself, Phoenix does not come down because of the interaction whenever Phoenix had it first. And then David being accused, we don't want that accusation to be able to be brought back up.
And lastly, has Phoenix made an allegation where it is clear that David is out of the house and it could not have happened?
There have been a couple of times whenever David wasn't even in the house, he was at work, or he was busy with the church, working on beds and stuff, where she said that he's done something and my son's been present in the house and has told her that didn't happen. He was in the backyard working on a playground for the younger two, and she accused David of something that he didn't do because she'd never been outside and David was only outside, and she accused him at the time he was working on the playground himself. Joseph was on the back porch watching, and she blatantly made an accusation against David that didn't happen.
In your opinion, do you think the children are safer with David in the house than David being out of the house?
Yes, I do. I think that they have developed such a relationship that taking David out of the house, the youngest one actually reverted back to peeing on herself and peeing in the bed and unable to focus at school.
And how old is she?
She's 9, pigmentation about a 3 to 5-year-old child.
All right.
Other questions?
Any questions, State?
Yes. So when David was arrested for this back in 2024, was that when that
Yes.
out of county?
Yes.
And since that time, actually, since 2023, he's been in the home with you and Phoenix,
Yes.
even after these allegations came out.
Yes, because the courts cleared him. Or not the courts, but CPS cleared him.
Right.
All right, so I have a couple of questions. Are there any objections?
Not really sweet.
None from defense, Your Honor.
All right, so you say there are cameras in the house. Where are the cameras?
There are 3 just down the hallway for the girls.
Mhm.
There's one in the corner above the bathroom that looks at the youngest children's door,
Mhm.
because Mia sometimes has the tendency to come out of her bedroom and fall down the stairs.
Okay.
So there's a camera there, and it triggers whenever somebody exits their bedroom. There is a camera in the corner of the hallway looking exactly this way, down the hallway where the gate is, down the hallway here where the girls' room is, and on Phoenix's door with the back.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
So the only places there are no cameras are inside the bathrooms,
There are no cameras in the bathrooms.
but do cameras show anyone who's going into the bathroom?
Yes. And there are SD chips in each camera, so we can move forward and document anything that may come out as an accusation. There is also, because Phoenix was at one point, she doesn't have a door on her bedroom because we had to watch her closely. For 2 weeks, she was on watch before she went into the institution.
Mhm.
And so there's a camera directly on that bed alone. She has privacy everywhere else.
So how many children in the household that are underage? And those are the 3 children that you took into your home?
Yes.
All right, and how many adults are in the household? All right, and who are the 5 adults?
My son, he's 30 years old. He is upstairs with the girls when they come out of the gate. His bedroom's right there.
Okay,
My father-in-law sleeps on the other end where the children's playroom and TV room is.
okay,
And David's mother, who is downstairs at the very front of the house,
okay.
and then me and David.
All right, any other questions?
Yes, Ms. King, the 2 younger children, they're nonverbal, is that correct?
Oh, no, they're not normal. They're very verbal. They're very high functioning.
I functioning.
Yes.
No further questions.
Yes.
Just for clarification, Phoenix did go into inpatient care for how long?
She was in for 7 months this last time at Cedar Crest Hospital.
Okay, and so if she gave any indication whether this did or didn't happen to them as
Yes.
well, you weren't around.
I
they
wasn't
could talk
there.
to her. And lastly, the state says that David was arrested on, in 2024. It was actually March 19th of 2025. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. That's right, just for.
All right.
That was the other place.
And other than this child, have any of the other children accused him?
Accused him? No, Your Honor.
They
But
accused her.
they are verbal and they accused Phoenix of
While she
acting
was
out.
institutionalized.
Okay,
And she knows that she did it. She will tell you.
okay. All right. So if y'all can have this, the caseworker zoom in, the court will make its ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor, very much for your consideration.
Sure, you're welcome. And if you talk to Norma, once you have the number, she'll give you the Zoom link. All right. Do y'all have?
Your Honor, yes, we did speak with, Ms. Snodgrass, and she did confirm that, but
First, do y'all have my cell phone?
I.
No. Because it's easy. I don't know, this disappears so easily. All right, so yes.
She did inform us that unfortunately, both the worker and the supervisor are both no longer with
With
CPS anymore, and she will not have any other further information she could give us.
All righty, well, let's go back on the record. Court is recalling 2025 CR 01961 State versus David Lopez. And I will hear your argument. I'm assuming there are no further witnesses.
That's correct, Amy.
All right, and Cindy, for the record, the state has informed the court that the caseworker on the CPS case and the supervisor are no longer employed with CPS. All right, I'll hear argument.
Hi, yes, Your Honor. So physician state is asking for the no contact order, one, because in cases like this, these are bond conditions that are typically put in place. That was not put in place. The defendant was arrested out of county and then bonded out. So whoever magistrated in out of county did not put any conditions on. My understanding is that from reviewing the CPS records, yes, CPS did allow the defendant back in the home after these allegations came out, and also after they found reason to believe. And to me, that just does not seem reasonable. And so that is why the state is asking for the no contact order, because the child has been in the home with the defendant and with her mom, for all intents and purposes, who she's been in the home this entire time with the defendant who she says that has abused her, and the state cannot adequately analyze their case while the child is still in the home with the defendant.
All right.
Your Honor, if I may please the court. This case, the allegation happened in 2022. The officer did state that he had gathered all the information as he saw fit, but was going to turn it over to the DA, even though the alleged complainant recanted. This case wasn't picked up until March 2025, where CPS had already allowed my client back in the home, and there has been no indication of anything going on since 2023. It has been status quo. He also bonded out on a $100,000 bond from the state's investigation, or from their investigator, which kind of charged him incorrectly. I believe his bond is overly intrusive. I would hate for his bond to be reduced and him to have to rebond out to go through the process, because he's already spent everything he had on the $100,000 bond. They have adequate cameras put in place. Everything has been status quo since. You've heard a very small portion of why the children need supervision at home, also David's supervision at home. He has cameras in all the right places that need be. There are other individuals in the house as well, and I just think it would be overburdensome for my client to have additional conditions that weren't put on until August of 2025, when the state is finally getting ready for this case. We've been ready, well, since March. I'm asking that the bonds remain in effect the way they are until trial, and we'll be ready.
All right. So this is what the court will note for the record. The indictment, and both parties have agreed that the indictment is incorrect, that he does not have a prior conviction. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the court will note that he's been in the household for this length of time. Both parties have agreed that the witness has recanted. Here's my question for you, because I still, CPS does their investigation. Their investigation is their investigation. I know that you've been in the house for the length of time that you've been in the house. I know that you have cameras up. Question for the court is, will you make those cameras accessible to the DA?
Most definitely, Your Honor.
All right, so if he's going to make sure that the cameras are accessible to you, my understanding, it's an SD card in all of the cameras.
Yes.
All right, how often are you going to want to view the SD card?
Your Honor, I guess it's something I can work out with.
All right, if y'all discuss that, but I'm not going to order the no contact order based upon everything, the evidence that the court has heard based upon the indictment being incorrect. If the indictment were correct, this would be easy for the court to make a decision on.
May I ask my client one question?
Sure.
Off the record. Your Honor, it's my understanding that these SD cards record for 30 days. I would say,
Do they ever,
I was gonna
is there
say,
any
can we get a,
recording over?
no, I was gonna say, can we get a double and have them available for the state every?
If you all will discuss that,
Okay.
how often you want those available, but I'm not going to grant the request for the no contact order based upon the evidence that I'm hearing. But I am going to add the condition that the state is allowed to view the SD cards. And if you all can just come back to me and you all can write it in the order, how often you want those SD cards to be reviewed by you.
I think 30 days.
All right. So will they be able to turn over the SD cards?
I will have my client buy additional SD cards and then provide them to me, and I will have them available for the state. And then I guess when we give them the next ones, they'll give us those back.
All right, so we're at the end of the month now, so I'm going to want an SD card provided to them before this month is out. And then after today, let me see. So that will, when will you be able to provide that to them? Friday?
Your Honor, I'm stepping into something I don't know. What I'm wondering is if I could provide like a 2 terabyte card and all these SD cards be loaded. That way the same cards can be used and I can constantly have these.
Sure, but my understanding though is, are you going to be able to provide it to them at the end of this month?
I'll take care of that.
Yes,
All right,
I will
so,
get more SD cards, and my outdoor cameras have a home base, so it has a 2 terabyte hard drive in it. If you have access to plugging it, I'll take the hard drive out and review it, and then I can put it back in.
all right, so we'll begin with the first date, the end of this week, and then 30 days thereafter.
Yes,
All right. Is there anything else?
not from the state judge.
Nothing from the French, Your Honor. Thank you
And
for
let
your
me see,
consideration.
does he already? Yes, he's coming back. All right, if there's nothing else, then you will be excused. And thank you for addressing the appropriate court. I'll sign this order and then you will have it.
Thank you, Judge, very much for your
You're welcome.
consideration.
Thank you.
And the next case is going to be Jamie Connolly versus Jordan Gorin. And you're Jamie Connolly? Okay, so make sure I know who's who here.
Doesn't matter.
Why don't you grab that one right there? And I've got 2 cases involving you both. There's 25-277. And that's the case, Ms. Connolly, where you filed for a protection order against Ms. Gorin.
Okay.
And then I have case 25-282, and that's the case with Ms. Gorin as the petitioner filing against Ms. Connolly. My intention would be to hear them both at the same time and make a decision in each case rather than doing it as 2 separate hearings.
Yes.
Usually I do it that way. It usually makes sense. So, okay. So let's see. Let me make sure though, Ms. Gorin, that you're ready. I'm sorry, Ms. Connolly, you're ready?
Yep.
And Ms. Gorin, you're ready as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so the way I'll do this is I'll hear from both of you. I'll start with Ms. Connolly, and then you can explain to me not only the reason that you think that there should be an order issued against Ms. Gorin, but since she's also filed against you, you can explain to me why you think that it shouldn't be issued against you. Same thing with you, Ms. Gorin. You can address both of those issues at the same time.
Okay.
All right, and I can sort of keep that separated in my head, and I will decide them separately, but I will hear them together at the same time. All right. Okay, so can I have you both raise your right hands, please? And do both of you swear the testimony that you give in these matters will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Connolly, I'm gonna let you go first as to both.
All right, so Jordan has a long history of domestic violence, harassment. She is still in an active case for her ex's like new girlfriend or her friend or whoever it was. She has called my place of work, which I have no idea how she found out where I work because I've never had like any interaction about my personal life with her. She called my work and said that she had a restraining order against me and that I show up at her house and bang on her doors and throw rocks at her windows and stuff, which none of that is true. I've never thrown rocks at her window or at her or anybody. She didn't have a restraining order. And then she asked my manager if she could call corporate and tell them the same thing. And again, none of that is true. And then
Where do you work?
The Ram in Lacey.
Over by Galaxy Drive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I showed up to work. My manager was like, hey, this girl called and said this and this.
All right, I got you.
And then she also threatened to come to my house, which again, I have no idea like how she found out where I lived. I do have the videos and pictures didn't send through the email, but the clerk said that I can just tell you or show you if you need.
Well, you can't show me unless you want me to keep your phone.
Okay.
Okay.
But I have a video of her saying that she Ubered to my house in the middle of the night because she knew where I lived. And again, I've never told her like where I live at all. And then in July, so Joseph, which is her ex-boyfriend or her boyfriend, he told me that in July, Jordan asked if she would be able to, if she tried, like insinuating that she was going to try, and then Joseph told her she wouldn't be able to. And then the only reason why like I'm still in contact with Joseph right now is because I'm the one who bailed him out. And I know that she's upset that I bailed him out. And then I know that her evidence for the thing against me is like a screenshot of no caller IDs. And I went to my AT&T account and I've never reached out to her like one time. The only time we've talked is either through Joseph or she's texted my phone numerous times, and I have a call log of her calling my number several times, but there's no like outgoing calls to her phone because I've never reached out to her at all. She's also texted me from her phone number and from another phone number. And the screenshots that I have show me saying like, stop texting me, stop texting me, stop texting me. And then the last one, it said like that I was going to block the number and then call the police for harassment. And then on the 12th, Jordan threatened to come to my house and break my stuff and ruin my car if I reached out to Joseph's mom, Lillian, which is his sister, or Joseph's dad. And then the police reports that she reported, there's like false accusations in there saying that I showed up to her house multiple times, like in the middle of the night, but I have like screenshots that show that I was at my house with my sister, and she can be a witness too. I was never like, I did not go to her house and throw anything at her or harass her or try to intimidate her or anything. And I have like, I can get my Apple Maps thingy too that shows where my phone was and that I was at my house.
Let me ask you a question then, because that's sort of the main point that she made in her petition against you, that you came to her residence in the early hours back on August 10th. So is that the incident you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I don't know, but I know that she's made multiple reports that I showed up at her house. But I don't like, I don't, the only reason why I even know who she is because Joseph, because I bailed them out. Like before all this happened, like I didn't contact her. I didn't do any, I didn't even know like who she was. And I think, yeah, I think that's it.
All right, I'll hear from Jordan, but I may need to ask you some questions after that, or
Okay.
I may give you an opportunity to respond to some of what she says, like I said, because there's petitions going both ways here.
Oh, can I also say another thing?
Mhm.
So I can't remember the date, but when I first did this, she tried to put the petition on me the very next day, which I think is out of retaliation because I know that her aunt, it works in the court system and she gets all of her information from her aunt. So it was the very next day that she found out that it went through, that she went to the courthouse to get the restraining or the protection order on me. So I feel like that was based off of like just retaliation.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gorin, you want to tell me your side of it?
Yes, Your Honor. I did reach out to her job to let him know when I did petition for the no contact order after she showed up to my house. I did reach out and let them know that that wasn't okay and that I would reach out to corporate if further things were going to continue to happen. On August 10th, me and my daughter were woken up in the middle of the night to Lillian Vaughn and Jamie Connolly banging on my front door. And by the time I could even get out of bed to come down the stairs, they had went around, and I have all this on camera of Jamie Connolly at my house on recorded, around my backyard trying to break into my sliding glass door. I have a police report. They called, which I believe is in retaliation over Joseph Vaughn. Joseph Vaughn has 3 assault felonies against me. Jamie Connolly did bail him out. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. Me and Joseph have absolutely no contact. They called and made false accusations that Joseph Vaughn was there that night, claiming under the influence that he was here. When the police had arrived because I was going to call, Lillian was screaming she had already called. So when I went and opened the door, I had offered the officer, please come in and search the house. You know, if you got this call, I have nothing to hide. Joseph Vaughn is not here. We are not in contact. You know, the officer had free reign to come in and did clear that Joseph Vaughn was not here. They've been harassing me. Those no caller IDs were them because I've answered the phone numerous times. It was Jamie Connolly and it was also Lillian Vaughn doing those no caller IDs. And at this point, I'm just sick of being harassed. She has came to my line of work. She has tried to reach out to my boss, which my boss can write a statement as well. I'm just sick of it at this point. My 5-year-old daughter is terrified still to go to bed when she hears noises because these drunk girls were throwing rocks, trying to bust, literally punching at my sliding glass door in the backyard. Like, intoxicated or not, we're grown adults. I have a child. They have threatened me, like threatened to shoot me. I've never been to Jamie Connolly's house. I had to get her address from the police officer. She still hasn't been served the protection order. And at this point, it's just more of an exhaustion than anything. I don't know how any of my previous relations relate to this. I don't know why they're doing this other than this has to do with Joseph. They have said numerous times that, oh, they're going to get me back for what I did for putting Joseph in jail for assaulting me. And, you know, at the end of the day, they can feel how they want to feel, but they're not going to come to my house and they're not going to do this, or I'm going to take further matters into my own hands as far as having to press charges for, I don't know, breaking into my backyard in the middle of the night, throwing things at my house, threatening me, numerous calls. I've never reached out to Jamie on a fake phone number. I've never reached out on my own number. And if it was way before any of this had ever arisen, and it was not in a hostile environment or situation. And she's the ex of my ex-boyfriend. So I do believe that there is lasting, you know, emotions for this man. Like, she bailed him out $2,500. Like, she realized that he, you know, I don't know, but his sister had said, like, she tried to get back together with him. He said no. She wanted her money back. I don't know if she thinks that something's going on, but we have a no contact order, and I've been following every single rule of that. And after the charges he's facing, there's nothing left there for me. Like, I have a 5-year-old daughter. I want better for me, and I don't want to be dealing with this. This is ridiculous. I don't deserve this. I'm fearful to be here. And the reason I put a no contact order on her, my aunt cannot disclose any information. She never has disclosed any information. I don't even know if she can even get that kind of information, but that was also false. They have been making false accusations numerous times now. And on top of that, I had to leave my house that night because I was scared, because they were saying they were going to me, literally me at my house. They were threatening. They were trying to open my sliding glass door while my 5-year-old daughter was screaming, crying in the background. I literally came back, got my things, and left over almost an hour away and stayed with my friend because I refused to stay here. This isn't the first time I've made police reports, and it's just not coming to an end. And if this all revolves over a guy, she can have him. Like, hands are washed on that situation. I just can't fathom, as a grown adult, doing that in front of a 5-year-old child, intoxicated or not. I've heard in the past that she does drink a lot and she has a lot of issues, and I've been there, done that in my younger days. I'm not perfect. I have a past, and I'm not clueless to that. But that's not where my life is now, and that's not where I want it to be.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Connolly, I'll let you respond to that, and then I'll let Ms. Gorin respond, and then I'll make a decision. Okay.
Okay. I've never showed up to her workplace. She works at a bikini barista, so there's no reason for me to go to her workplace to do anything. Like, I've never gone there. I don't want to go there. Like, that's, I don't know. And everything, like, she said that that night she went to her friends, which that's a lie, because on her police report, she said that she took her daughter to her mom's house. So even right then, she was just lying. She's like a serial liar. Like, she's like, I don't even know what to say. None of that is true. I've never threatened her with I've never harassed her. I've never showed up. She doesn't even have her kid most of the time. Like, her mom takes her kid. If Lillian was here, she could be a witness. I was not there that night. It was Lillian and my other sister. I have proof that I wasn't there that night. I don't really know what to say. None of it is true.
All right, I understand what you're telling me. All right. So, and Ms. Gorin, as I said, I'll give you a final opportunity to respond to any of the things that Ms. Connolly just said.
She 100% did show up to my house. It's on camera, and she 100% has showed up to my job. She has continuously harassed me. She will not leave it alone, and I just am done. Like, I just don't want this to continue anymore. I don't want her to be coming to my residence. And yes, that night I left and went to my mother's because that's what the cop recommended. The reason that my protection order wasn't, by the way, and I did reach out to her and say I was getting a protection order. So that's probably why I told her, I said, I left town. This is ridiculous. I'm getting a protection order against you. She then went and got one while I was out of town. So if anyone is retaliating anything, this is absolutely ridiculous. The only reason I'm here is to be able to protect me, myself, and my daughter. And at the end of the day, all of this is absolutely uncalled for. If this girl does not stop, I will be pressing charges for breaking and entering into my backyard. I will take this further. I do not want anything to do with this person. She needs to leave me alone, because if she comes on my property again, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Now, I also want you both to know that I did read and review the petitions that you submitted and the statements that went along with that. And honestly, it's very difficult to find any of this credible. I mean, in the sense that your accusations against each other don't, neither one of you is presenting with more credible accusations or descriptions of events than the other. It's difficult to sort through what may be true, what may be embellished, what may be untrue. What I can tell, obviously, is that there's a lot of, I guess, bad feelings. There's clearly not a warm relationship between the two of you. That's obvious. But I can't stress enough that, this is a legal proceeding. There's law that governs this. This isn't like school or something where, you can go to the principal's office and a principal can make a decision based on, what he thinks should happen based on how difficult you are to manage. It isn't like that. Each of you as a petitioner in a legal case has brought a lawsuit against the other. And the law has specific requirements that have to be met in order for the court to give you what you're asking for, which is an order against the other person. And those are not consequence free. Those orders don't just say, well, leave each other alone. They say that, and they say some other things, but there are consequences. Those orders, when they're put in place, if the restraint provisions of those orders are violated, those are criminal offenses that people can be arrested for, go to jail for. It's serious business. It's not just about people who aren't getting along. It's not just about some guy, as you said, Ms. Gorin. It isn't as insubstantial as that. All right. So it has to be taken seriously. I cannot make findings that basically would say, I think it's better if you stay apart from each other. I do think it's better if you stay apart from each other, but that isn't a legal basis to issue an order against either one of you. And so for both cases, as I said, I do not find a credible version of events here. And I do not find that any of the elements of unlawful harassment have been met in either case. And therefore, both of you are being denied protection orders at this point. Now, I'm basing that on the record, which is the material that you filed here and the testimony that you've given here. If there's other stuff, if there's other, I've heard references to other people who have information. I've heard references to videos and recordings, but none of those things are part of the record in this case. All right, so I'm not considering those things as part of my decision. I just want it to be clear to you that coming here to court for something like this is not a matter of just whether it's a good idea that people who are hostile to each other should stay away from each other. It's a legal proceeding, and there are legal requirements that have to be met, and they have not been here. So I'm going to give you both copies of my decision, the final decision in this case, which is ultimately it's a denial of the request for the order in both cases.
So, Your Honor, if she comes back on my property, do I just call the police again, or what do you recommend I do?
I'm gonna say this to both of you. First of all, you have to decide for yourselves what you're gonna do. I can't guide you through that. Second, if you believe that your safety is at risk, don't hesitate to call 911. That's what it's there for, and the police would rather come and not be needed than be needed and not be called. Okay, and then if further things happen that you believe constitute harassment and would entitle you to an order, you're free to file another petition.
Thank you, Your Honor.
For the evidence for her calling my workplace, would I be able to just get like a written note from my manager, or will my manager have to come here?
I can't answer that question. All right, so Ms. Gorin, the court clerk is going to send you your copies of the court's orders by email. And then Ms. Connolly, since you're here, you'll get your copies right now.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
And the court calls case number 25 RO 04327. This is people of the City of Royal Oak versus Naudia Patrice Totley. Ms. Totley, are you available?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning. Ms. Totley, welcome to the 44th District Court. Today's date and time set for your informal hearing. This is a non-criminal proceeding. Nobody's going to jail this morning on this citation, but it is considered serious enough that Officer Francis did issue the citation on July 3rd of this year at about 20 minutes of 1 in the morning. You are operating a 2016 Ford black in color on Campbell at or near 13 Mile Road. And at that place and time, you were cited for disobeying a traffic control device. Officer Francis remark, which appears on your ticket, indicates observed vehicle eastbound 13-mile road, drove through red signal, and apparently there is a in-car camera capture of this. Notwithstanding any of that, Ms. Totley, today's your day in court. You may admit responsibility to the citation. The court will attach the fine that'll close up the case. You may admit responsibility with an explanation you wish the officer to be aware of, or you have every right to deny responsibility. And the court will swear the parties and we will conduct a brief trial. What would you like the court to do for you?
Well, I don't want points on my
Okay, the court's not here to haggle about points because the Secretary of State is actually the agency that assigns points.
right.
So we're not in a negotiation circumstance. Where we are is you have 3 concrete ways to work through your own rights, and you may admit responsibility. You can admit and explain, or if you believe you did not commit a civil infraction, you have every right to deny responsibility and we'll take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
I guess I'll admit and explain.
Okay. So you're confirming to the court that on the date in question, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak, correct?
Yes.
And at that place in time, you disobeyed a traffic control device, correct?
I ran through a yellow light.
Ms. Totley, did you or did you not disobey a traffic control device?
I guess so by running through a yellow light. Yes.
I don't want you to guess. These are your rights, okay?
Is there some
So
type of mediation I can get then on how to go about it?
again, Ms. Totley, the court is the neutral.
Okay.
The court didn't write the case. The court didn't bring the case. The 2 parties to the case are before the court. One of them is the city of Royal Oak, and that's through Officer Francis, and the other is you. These are your rights today. So the court is doing everything in its power to obey each and every facet of the civil procedure and protect your rights as well as they can be protected. But the court needs to accept one of those 3 pleas before we even think about sanctions. So again, you can admit and explain, or deny responsibility.
Admit and explain.
Very well. So you wish to confirm you did disobey a traffic control device that place and time, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. The court appreciates and accepts your plea. What would you like the court to know, Ms. Totley?
That I ran through a yellow light, and it may have very well turned red after I ran through it. So my sight saw a yellow light. That is my only argument, that I did not run through a red light.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish the court to know?
The officer also falsely accused me of not having insurance, which I did and showed proof of. And that is all that I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. Officer Francis, what, if anything, would you like to share?
Yes, Your Honor. As for the accusation of the no insurance, just per lien, it was EIV no, but she did provide valid insurance. Driving record is relatively clean. So with that being said, I'd like to make the motion to amend it to impeding traffic.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Totley, impeding traffic is a 0-point violation and will never appear on a master driving record. Is that acceptable to you?
That is.
Thank you. So your original plea to disobey control device will be amended to impeding traffic. That is a $175 fine that is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4:30. That's going to be due within 14 days. And the court thanks you for your patience. Take care.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may have one moment to review.
I saw Ms. Stevens. Let me ask her to unmute. She may be having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm having trouble.
That's okay.
Okay,
So
am I muted now?
you are. Did you see the prompt
Okay.
for the video?
Yep,
There you
okay.
are. Okay. So
Sorry.
that's no problem. Mr. Tippin is reviewing and get back to us in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, they have these handy prompts that I can send you when you're having trouble unmuting and
Okay.
So I'm
I was a
learning how
little
to.
worried for a minute there that I was.
No, I saw you. I'm learning how to guide people through this, but it took me a minute.
Your Honor, I've got Miss Stevens's video up and ready at the court's pleasure.
Right.
Looking at it, I think that Miss Stevens is liable for what occurred.
All right, Ms. Stevens, would you like for me to review the video with you?
Yes, I'm wondering why I couldn't view that video prior to now. I did go on. Can you
It's
hear
a
me?
third-party company that runs it, and so I've been able to, like, when I've had the opportunity to go online and look at them, I can see it, but sometimes I've heard that people have glitches.
Yeah, I went online a couple different times trying to see if there was a video because it said additional video or photos or whatever, and I didn't see anything. But yeah, I mean, definitely we can definitely look at that. I just I wish it would have been available to me before.
Okay.
Mr.
Tipton, we can share screen when you're ready, sir.
Your Honor. Okay, is Your Honor ready?
I am.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Stevens, can you see it?
Yep, I can.
Your Honor, Miss Stevens' car is the white car behind the truck.
Okay. All right. You want to tell me what you were thinking at this point, Ms. Stevens?
Well, yeah, I have a whole statement prepared. Um, First of all, I do want to say that this is the first offense or violation of this kind that I've ever had, or my vehicle's ever gotten, any vehicle I've ever driven or owned. Um, I was in the state of Illinois, I was a school bus driver, ironically, for 3 years. I care a lot about, and I'm a mother of three, so I do care a lot about the bus and child safety. This is not something that I take lightly. I've actually had to turn people in for running school bus stop signs myself. Um, I'm out of state. I live in Illinois. I've lived in Illinois pretty much my entire life, and except for when my husband was in the service. And in Illinois and my neighboring state of Missouri, Iowa, the law is different. And unfortunately, I have special training in the law. So, the
One
law
of those
here is,
attorneys, Ms. Stevens?
huh?
Are you one of those attorneys?
With
You
what?
said
I'm
special
sorry.
training in the law. Are you an attorney?
No, 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 no. Special training, bus driver
Oh,
training.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, we
Well,
take tests that we know the law regarding these things.
it's
And
different. I think it's different from state to state, but the
right,
wrinkle here in Georgia is that if there is no physical median that
right.
separates the oncoming lane with the lane that you're traveling in, then you have to stop. And it doesn't matter how
Yes, and
many lanes are spread
right,
across. So in this case, there was just lines,
right,
so there was no physical median, and
right,
the bus was stopped as you
right.
were approaching. So
Yeah, and I do understand that. I mean, obviously, when I got this notice, first thing is the $1,000. I mean, I really freaked me out. But I mean, of course, I looked this up and then found out. And educational purposes, I mean, if I would have gotten a $250 fine, I would have been like, oh my God, and I would have, also, I mean, I definitely would have learned my lesson that Georgia is different. So it definitely has me kind of rethinking also some anxiety in regards to this. I did want to mention special circumstances that day. Um, I was traveling with my elderly father. So not only do I have this background, but I was traveling with my elderly father. We we were on the highway, got into Atlanta during rush hour, and we were diverted off the highway because the traffic was stopped. Um, Very stressful situation. I was in an unfamiliar area on unfamiliar roads, trying to juggle watching local speed limits, traffic lights, street signs, trying to navigate, make sure that, other cars, so if I have to switch lanes to make turns to navigate around. We spent 3 hours. So not only was it stressful at the time, we spent 3 hours making no progress in town. Eventually got back on the highway and we were able to carry on with the trip. And getting this in the mail, like I said, I guess I'm asking for some leniency on this under the circumstances. If anybody's ever traveled with an elderly parent, he doesn't hear directions himself very well when I'm giving directions to him. And for me, he's not helpful. He wasn't helpful. He would say something too late and it'd be more of a distraction more than anything. So, it is what it is. It's just that, I do have a job, but I am a seasonal employee. I have to stretch my money over when I'm not working, which currently I'm not. I won't be going back to work until January. And the special circumstances of being out of state, spending I'm 54 years old. I've had my driver's license a long time, and again have driven a school bus for 3 years. So that's the reason I'm here. Is it's just pretty traumatic getting $1,000 something in the mail where you're now, it kind of upends your like confidence in driving, and huge, I didn't know that, I can't imagine, I don't know the exact moment, of course, but I don't know if during that time, I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't have thought I was breaking the law, first of all, if I'd seen the arm, but I don't know that I had. There were no other cars stopped. The truck that's there is in the turn lane, which wouldn't have like triggered anything with me. I know that if there were other cars stopped, or obviously if I had seen children cross, you react in those situations. I think that's pretty natural, and what you're looking for. But, circumstances are, just, I think a little different here. And so that's it. I'm sorry, I'm going on and on, but that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to say.
Well, ma'am, I can't, since July 1st of 2024, this is considered a misdemeanor of a high and aggravated nature. The minimum fine is $1,000, and there is the possibility of jail time, but I can give you 90 days to pay.
Okay.
Your Honor, can we do the same thing we did with Miss Joseph and reschedule her about 60 days out, then give her 90 days from that date?
Sure. All right, so we'll reset you for 60 days. Go ahead and start saving money.
Okay, so does that mean do I have to come back, like log back in thing in 60 days?
You'll get a notice.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first one with Judge McNally, it seems like she really thought she found a sugar daddy. She wasn't going to have to work. They had a blended family. He was taking care of everything. And then they broke up. You've got to be able to take care of yourself. You've got to. Because anything could happen. He could have passed away. And she'd be in the exact same place she's in now. So you've got to be able to take care of yourself. And she's had at least 2 months to try to figure it out, and she hasn't done anything to figure it out. So I don't feel sorry for her. I've heard this, poor planning on your part doesn't make it an emergency on mine. I've heard it a little different way, but basically that. She needs to take care of herself. Now, the second one with Judge Boyd, that is just awful for everyone all around. It's awful for the granddaughter. It's awful for the grandfather. It's awful for all of them. Really, really awful. Unfortunately, they decided to prosecute something that sounds like they should not be prosecuting. But I understand they need to look at everything, but now he's got to spend how much money on an attorney for something that isn't true, that's just in her imagination. And that's the bad part. That's really bad for him. And then the fact that her imagination is there, that it even goes to that spot, is awful. The one in Washington, with Judge Wall, it's just, you ladies need to act like adults. You're adults. Act like it. You're fighting over a loser guy. Stop it. And then the two traffic ones, the last one with Judge Hayward, she might have done better if she said, the truck was blocking my view, except the fact that she's still responsible to see the road, the entire road, whether you have to slow down or speed up. You've got to be able to see the entire road. That's just the way it is. And you are responsible. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you another time.